the balance method. The balance method involves using a sequence of inverse operations to isolate our variable, which means get the variable on its own so that we end up with, say, x equals and then a number on the other side. Now, you can use a flowchart to help you with the balance method, and I'm going to do that just for part A, and you'll see how that works. So if we remember the flowchart for A, we start with the R. The first thing that happens to that R is it gets multiplied by 5, giving us 5R. The next thing that happens is that we subtract 1, giving us 5R minus 1. The reverse path is to add 1 and then divide by 5. And that gives us the sequence of inverse operations that we can use to solve by the balance method. So the first thing that I'm going to do to this equation is add 1 to both sides. So I'm going to add 1 on the left and add 1 on the right. That leaves me with just 5R on the left, and then I have 15 on the right. Now I didn't put the number in over here, but if we think about what happens with the number as we go through this, note that I've got to the middle here. So I went from there to there. Now, what's the next thing to do? The next thing to do is divide both sides by 5. So I'm going to divide it by 5 and divide by 5. And so this side gives me R and this side gives me 3. And you'll note right here that that's the same as what it said in the flowchart. So, without the flowchart, we could do this. But what I need to think is, the first thing that happens to the S is I divide by 10 and then I add 3. So the first thing to do is take away 3. So I've got S over 10, add 3, take away 3 is going to be equal to 13, take away 3. And I'm just using different colours here just to make it clear what I'm doing. That leaves me with S over 10 on this side, and on this side I get 10. Now I need to do the inverse operation. So that's going to be multiplied by 10 here, and that means I need to multiply by 10 on this side as well. And so that gives me S on this side and 100 on the other side. Now moving to this example, the first thing that happens is we take away 11 and then we divide by 4. So we take away 11 and then divide by 4. So the sequence that we want is we want to multiply by 4 and then add 11. So what I'm going to do to start with is start with my t take away 11 over 4 equals 5. And I'm going to multiply both sides by 4. Now on the left, the inverse operations mean that I end up just with t minus 11 now. Over here I've got 20, and then what I want to do is add 11. So t take away 11, and I'm going to add 11 there and add 11 over here, and that gives me t equals 31. For the final one, we're adding 13 and then multiplying by 7. So my reverse path is going to be divide by 7 and take away 13. So to start with, let's divide both sides by 7. And then that gives me just u plus 13 on the left and 20 on the right. And now what I want to do is subtract 13 from both sides. And I get u on the left and I get 7 on the right.